This is Dane Wigington with a 5-minute global engineered weather update for the week of August 30th, 2014. The relentless rain-blocking grid spraying of the entire Eastern Pacific Ocean continues to be a major factor in the completely engineered drought destruction of the once golden state of California. The climate engineers refuse to let any precipitation fall on the parched and baking state. All the while, much of the population of the rapidly dying state of California is even now completely oblivious to the noose that is being pulled around their necks by the climate engineering, day in and day out. The U.S. Drought Monitor map shows the most extreme designation of drought over most of California, but the reality on the ground is even worse. California has endured 7 years of drought, not just 3, as is officially reported. In addition, temperatures are routinely 4 or 5 degrees hotter than the already scorching, quote, official temperatures. Data falsification to the downside is now the norm, not to the upside, as many people like to believe. The engineered mega drought is now, not in the future. If we examine the summer highlights map from AccuWeather, we can see what the climate engineers had scheduled for us all in the US. Sure enough, that's about exactly how it's gone. Baking and burning in the west, cool and rainy in the east. Moving on to the fall forecast, quote, scheduled weather, we see even more anomalies. It seems it will be snowing in eastern Idaho this fall, while western Idaho will continue to endure relentless heat and forest fires. Take a good look at this map. Does it appear in any way to be normal? Let's take a look at a recent NOAA forecast map, which again is simply the scheduled weather, as Raytheon does all the modeling for NOAA and NWS, National Weather Service, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. What we see on this map is now the norm for the US, at least it's the norm in the recent past. Each color tier on this map represents 2 degrees more or less. The oranges and reds showing far above normal temperatures, 15 to 20 degrees above normal. The blues and purples far below, the same degree of below normal temperatures. This map is about as unnatural as it could be, and the maps are constantly this way. This is in fact what is occurring on the ground due to the engineered meltdown of the west and the engineered cool down of the east. So is any relief scheduled for the west? After all, we're supposed to get a big El Nino this year, right? It seems not any longer. The climate engineers can and are altering upper level winds. This alters ocean currents in turn in various regions around the globe. As the weather makers block the flow of moisture from entering California, they appear to have yet again suppressed or at least reduced the El Nino potential, just as they did in 2012 when the predicted El Nino event did not happen as expected. So what do the actual global ground and ocean temperatures look like? The temperature anomaly map shows this clearly enough. This should be a big red flag to all. July ocean temperatures were the warmest on record. So if the oceans are so warm, why are so few Atlantic hurricanes happening? Because they're being radically suppressed. As of August 29th, there is a tremendous convection in the Gulf of Mexico and elsewhere in the Atlantic Basin, yet nothing develops. This convection is bombarded with jet-sprayed aerosols to be sure no hurricanes can spin up in the sea of oil that's sitting on the seabed of the Gulf of Mexico that's left over from the Macondo oil spill, which is in fact still leaking. The weather makers predicted or scheduled a slow season for Atlantic hurricanes, and sure enough, that's exactly what we've had. Even Bloomberg asks, where are the Atlantic hurricanes? And I quote, most Atlantic rotations are now kept at a low level of spin, and then they're deflected in a manner that keeps them just off the coast of New England as they migrate northward, spitting up moisture. The storms are heavily aerosolized and thus used as mechanisms of building expansive areas of cloud cover for solar radiation management, otherwise known as SRM. Historically, many more cyclones made landfall well into the continental US landmass. As already mentioned, the ocean temperatures are going through the roof. All-time record highs in July, and this record is in spite of likely data falsification to the downside, not the upside. The geoengineers and the power structure is trying to hide the fact that the planet's in total meltdown. This is quite the opposite scenario of what many people have been led to believe by the oil company lobby spin machine and the geoengineers that would like us again to think that the planet is cooling. The planet's actually trying desperately to cool itself. in response to the damage already done to it. The climate engineers are stopping this process. It's up to all of us to band together in the critical fight to stop the geoengineers. It's up to all of us to save our living planet from extinction. Stand up, make your voice heard, join us in this most critical battle. This is Dane Wigington with geoengineeringwatch.org.